I don't know
I
if any others were up there, but
I think I enjoyed this chapter. I haven't read the official release yet. I've been a little busy today. But yeah, no, it's just so far. I think I enjoyed this chapter a lot. It's pretty good.
this
What about
one
this chapter
is
that's not really doing it for you?
no, we like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait,
A lot of people don't though, and I liken it to being just like chapter 8. A lot of people just don't want the love conversation, even if it is actually a good thing. In my review that I'll have tomorrow, I actually go into this a little bit. But that part of the chapter is actually like objectively the best narratively of the whole chapter. The rest of it is just kind of just whatever. You don't like you serious. You gotta understand what they're going for. You have to look at it from the right perspective because if you're actually understanding what they're doing narratively, they're introducing a character flaw from Sarada. She can't grow if there's nothing to grow from in the first place.
what's the character flaw?
It basically, to make it really simple, she's only looking at it from her perspective. The most simple way to put it. Sumire does have a point to an extent. She's over exaggerating, but she has a point, and that is establishing something for Sarada to change in the future.
What's Sumire? What is her point?
Basically, it's Sarada's only she's being selfish, looking at everything from her perspective, not thinking about what Boruto's feelings, her feelings, and so on. I'm oversimplifying, but that's the general point.
Okay. No, I found the conversation to be pretty interesting, and it was one of my favorite parts to this chapter. Certainly, I typically, like a battle shonen, this isn't really what I'm looking for. However, it is dependent on context. So, in a series that has 15-year-old teenage girls and boys, yeah, I'm going to be expecting this type of stuff at some point, especially because they've set up the story beats to knock down a little bit later on. So if they weren't, or if they didn't kind of expand upon what they were establishing earlier, then I would have a problem with that. I mean, goes back all the way to part 1 in the conversation they were having in the bed with Ada. So yeah, for me, this makes sense. And if they don't do it, it doesn't make sense. So I'm happy that they did it, and it's just like the start of something. So I think having multiple layers of story being told is never a bad thing. But yeah, kind of my thoughts.
I just personally think that ironically, the love conversations that Ada's been involved in have actually been some of the better written stuff.
Absolutely. And that's one of my favorite things about OG Naruto in the first place. If anything, I think Shippuden should have done a little bit more with it.
Yeah, like in terms of like the love stuff, I think Naruto should have done so much more. They had to kind of build up a lot of like history and work during the last movie with the whole relationship between Hinata and Naruto. I think they should have been building those seeds up a little bit better than they were throughout, Naruto part 1 and part 2, so that when we finally got to that little climax where they finally start to unite as a couple, then it will feel a little bit more deserved, I suppose. Although I'm very satisfied with what we got. Although the Genjutsu thing with Naruto falling in love with Hinata as a result of that is a little weird. I feel a little strange about that. But outside of everything else, I really enjoyed that movie and that storyline. So I have no problem with it. And Boruto is just, in this regard, doing something better than the Naruto series.
Yeah, I was gonna say, honestly, as much as we on the podcast like to brag on Ikimoto, I will say one thing he definitely has actually done better is the love stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I disagree on the Genjutsu because my interpretation isn't that the Genjutsu is like making him love Hinata or anything. It's just Naruto's so dense that it's like helping him realize that he's always loved Hinata.
Yeah, I like to think of Naruto the Last as just like any other Naruto movie. It's not a sequel, it's just its own thing. Then the movie's good. But once you consider it a sequel, I don't like it anymore. It's just Naruto the retcon. That's how I look at it.
I'll be right back, but yeah, you guys can continue the conversation.
Okay, so we'll go to the next topic, I guess.
Well, that's not what I was hoping for. I was going to tell Mello one of my rewrites for the Hinata thing, but I guess we'll wait on that for when he gets back. So.
Ah, shoot! Now I want to know.
You've already heard it. It's where instead of saying
Oh.
"I love you" during the pain fight, Hinata's
Oh.
the one that says it in Naruto last instead of Naruto. It's the basic
Yeah, I remember
idea.
the
We've talked
I
about it
actually
before
like
in more
people
depth.
like you line. I remember that.
Yeah.